Coming up next, high school volleyball on your sports leader in Lorain, WLCS TV 20.
Welcome, girls varsity volleyball. It's Lorain versus Bedford. Lorain in the white jerseys and Bedford in the green. Rob Polinsky here with you. Bob Schlembaker doing the camera work for us tonight as the Titans come in with a record of 11-9, having lost only one game in the Lake Erie League. And Bedford comes in with an overall record of 12-6. We're underway off the serve of Amaya Robinson, and Lorain gets the first point to lead 1-0. In the first match, over at Bedford in round one in Lake Erie League play, a very good match. Lorain came from behind to win in 5 games. They were down 2-0. They had to win the final 3 sets to win 3-2 and to take the league win, and that's what Chantil Jackson's team did. And that serve goes long. It's out of bounds. We're tied at 1. So Lorain trails Maple Heights by 1 game in Lake Erie League play with 2 left. They play tonight and then they'll host Maple on Wednesday. So should the Titans win tonight and against Wednesday, they would get a share of the LEL title with Maple Heights. But before Wednesday, they've got to win this one right here. Sydney Patterson cranks up the spike attempt. It's dug out by the Bearcats. They hit it into the net. Point for Lorain to lead 2-1. Serving for the Titans is Talia Harris, a junior. Emily Van Horn there, the libero back there with her. Also, we have Julissa Williams, Ariana Washington, Amaya Robinson, and Sydney Patterson on the floor for the Lorain Titans. Van Horn gets it ahead to Julissa Williams. The sophomore sends it over to the Bearcats. Come right back over to the Lorain side. There's a set by Washington. Again, Julissa Williams sends it over. That's Donna Carter, the libero for Bedford, playing it. And the Bearcats, nice job of going to get that, was Jayla Bell. Sydney Patterson. And it's sent over. Amaya Robinson, Emily Van Horn, third hit is going to go into the net. And that'll be a point for Bedford. Amaya Robinson unable to put it over. And we're tied at 2 here early on in the match, game number 1. Varsity volleyball, you play 3 games out of 5. You play to 25, and you must win by 2. If it does go to a 5th game, like it did the first time these two teams played, that game goes to 15. Serving for the Bearcats, Sarah Skuzinsa. And Skuzinta hits it into the net. That's a point for Lorain. They lead 3-2. So Sarah Skuzinta hit it into the net. And now serving Sydney Patterson for Lorain. Patterson's serve goes to the back row. Played by the Bearcats. Skuzinta puts it in. And to the back row, she hit it. That falls in, and we're tied at 3. So it'll be Donna Carter, the senior libero, going back to serve for Bedford. Set. Williams with the spike, block right back at her, and the point for the Bearcats. And that was an impressive block by Icy Bowles. And Bedford leads 4-3. Donna Carter serving for the Bearcats. Carter sends it over. Dug out nicely by Amaya Robinson. Julissa Williams battling at the net again. It's Icy Bowles. And Bedford leads 5-3. So Icy Bowles, a junior, in the middle, having a good start to game 1. As is senior Donna Carter, who's serving. Her Bearcats lead 5-3. Again, it's played. Van Horn passes it ahead. It is set by Washington. And that will be a double hit on Washington on the set. Bedford leads 6-3. Washington set. And Robinson, Boise Bowles right there again, blocking that easily. Bedford leads 7-3. And right now the Titans don't have an answer for that young lady on the middle of the floor. Icy Bowles, the junior for Bedford. She wears number 8 on her uniform. And it's time to hit it over Bowles, which is a good idea. Set, and the spike attempt is sent back over. Titans play it. Now back to the Bearcats. Skazinta back to Emily Van Horn. Set for Washington. Jalissa Williams goes up to get it. Dug out nicely by the Bearcats. And they'll send it over on the third hit that time. That was Jayla Wilson. Middle of the front row, they send it over Bowles. And we got a point for Lorain as a double hit will get called on the Bearcats. And Lorain cuts into the lead. They trail 7-4. It'll be Jersey Fisk, a sophomore, coming into the left side of the front row for Lorain. Fisk enters the game for the first time. And serving is Ariana Washington. Ariana, line drive serve, but it is just out. 8-4, it was wide. She got it over the net, but just wide. 8-4 Bedford. Serve for the Bearcats. Jayla Wilson to Jersey Fisk, has it blocked at the net. Van Horn, and that'll go into the net. Point for Bedford, and the Bearcats off to a nice start in game one. They lead 9-4. Van Horn, they can't play it. It's 10-4. Van Horn ahead. Washington to Jersey Fisk. Dug out by the Bearcats, but they can't play it ahead. So Fisk with the kill. Point goes to the Titans. They trail 10-5. We're in game one. Varsity Volleyball. Rob Polinsky here with you. Bob Schlembaker doing the camera work tonight on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television. Glad you could join us. Jalissa Williams, the sophomore, serving for the Titans. Middle of the front row, Icy Bowles has it blocked at the net, but it falls on the Titans side, so that point will go to Bedford. And the Bearcats lead 11-5. Tiana Black serving. Black sends it back. Van Horn from the back row. Played by the Bearcats. They just do get it over the net by Jayla Bell. They dig it out. Titans with the set. Jersey Fisk has it blocked, but it's back on the Bedford side. They'll play it ahead, and on the third hit, the Titans get it over. There's a set for Icy Bowles. Emily Van Horn, nice job going down to get that. And sending it over for the Titans is Ariana Washington. Good long rally here. Van Horn to Washington. Middle of the front row, and they're going to give the point to Bedford on a double hit on that set. As they tried to set up Aaliyah Thomas. Point to Bedford, and the Bearcats lead 12-5. And Lorain wants a timeout here early on in game one. We told you the first time these two teams met over at Bedford, Lorain won in 5 games, but it was a long night. Bedford won the first 2 games before Lorain came all the way back to win 3-2. So we're early on in game one. We'll just have to see how it goes as Bob Schlembaker shows you a picture of the teams as they're in their respective huddles. Lorain City Schools Television, WLCS TV 20, Spectrum Cable. It's 1025. If you're watching on cable, check out Lorain City Schools TV 20 on Facebook for all your entertainment and informational needs. Follow us on Twitter at LCS_TV 20. Check out the YouTube station, that's Lorain Schools TV 20, and you can like Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook, and you get a chance to win great prizes if you do that. Serving is Tiana Black. Black to serve for Bedford. Black sends it deep. It's played. Washington set. Middle of the front, or the right side of the front row with the kill. Aaliyah Thomas, point for Lorain. They trail 12-6. Emily Van Horn to serve. Sydney Patterson comes to the front row for the Titans. Van Horn sends it over. It can't be passed ahead for Bedford. That was Jayla Wilson misplaying that. Titans trail 12-7. Van Horn again. Line drive serve. Bearcats play, and we're going to have call go against the Titans. That'll give it to Bedford. They lead 13-7. And serving will be Icy Bowles, who's done such a good job from the front row. Let's see how she does serving. Van Horn gets it, but it's going to be sent back by the Bearcats. Nina Ali with the kill. And the Bearcats have doubled up the Titans at 14-7. Ali. Van Horn gets it over. Played by Bowles. And now for the Bedford Bearcats in there is Celeste Sanders. Sanders sends it over to the Lorain side. Again, Sanders, but there was a double hit on Bedford. And that'll give the Titans the point. They trail 14-8 here in game one. Serving will be Amaya Robinson. Robinson with the serve, played at the net, and we're going to get a call. One of the Bearcats was in the net, and that'll make it 14-9. Titans still trailing, but they trail by 5, and let's see if Amaya Robinson, the senior, can serve the Titans back into game one. Line drive serve off the top of the net, played by the Bearcats. And from the middle of the front row, sending it over on the third hit is Nina Ali. The set and the kill by Sydney Patterson is going to be good, just in bounds. 14-10, Bedford by 4. Sydney Patterson, the senior, with the good kill right there. Amaya Robinson, 5'4" senior. Line drive served, passed ahead by the Bearcats, and on the third hit, Donna Carter gets it back to the Titans. Sydney Patterson dinks it over. That's going to be a point for the Lorain Titans. Makes it 14-11. Titans, 4 straight points. They trailed 14-7. They've cut that deficit to 3, 14-11. Robinson again, line drive serve. Donna Carter gets it. They save it from going out of bounds. Carter, though, can't get it over the net. That was a good save by Jay LaBelle, but Carter couldn't get it over the net. And the Titans have closed to within 2 at 14-12. And we are going to give a timeout for Bedford. As for the Bearcats, come in with a record of 12-6. Kelly Jacobs, in her first year as head coach, wants to take a timeout. We will as well. It's game one. It's Lorain 14, Bedford 12. We'll be back after this timeout. You're watching Girls Varsity Volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
Hi, my name is George Click. I'm 16 years old and in 10th grade at Lorain High School. I'm studying video production through Lorain High's Career Tech Education program. My first class was video production itself, and my second class was web design. I have a big imagination. Video production is a great release for it. The program is fun, interactive, and hands-on. You learn about the cameras and their functions in a comfortable environment. You spend a lot of time editing video using Adobe Photoshop and Premiere. My video production instructor, Mr. Trout, helped me a lot. He helps you with anything you need help with. He's good at explaining how things work. Taking this video production class is what really made me want to go into this field. This program at Lorain High helped give me confidence. I now know that this is what I want to do, and it's all thanks to Lorain High's Video Production Career Tech program.
I will be coming up on retirement, and the VA benefits will play a very important part in my life.
You may have earned valuable veterans benefits from your military service.
I decided that it was time to go to college and pursue my career.
I was able to buy this house.
Learn more about your eligibility, even how to apply online using e-benefits.
The VA benefits made a real difference in my life.
I wouldn't be where I am today if it hadn't been for my VA benefits.
Don't wait. Apply for your VA benefits today.
Welcome back. We're in the middle of game one. Bedford leads Lorain 14-12. It'll be Amaya Robinson serving for Lorain. Line drive serve that is played back. Robinson has it. Set for Washington. Sent over Sydney Patterson. And Lorain, with 6 straight points, has cut a 14-7 deficit down to 14-13. And now Amaya Robinson with a chance to serve to tie the match. We're in game one from Lorain tonight. Bedford and Lorain Lake Erie League Volleyball. Washington, instead of setting it, sends it back over to the Titans. Now they set middle of the front row. Celeste Sanders puts it back to the Titans. Sydney Patterson with the kill, and we are tied at 14. The Titans have come all the way back. 7 in a row. Impressive after the Titans trailed 14-7 that they've been able to come all the way back. Robinson for the lead, serves to the Titan, or for the Bearcats, and the Titans get the lead 15-14. How about that? Again, Robinson serving, her team up 15-14. And a point will go to Bedford as they hit it over and unable to control that and play it back were Talia Harris and Sydney Patterson. So we are tied at 15. We've been tied at 1, 2, 3, 14, and 15. Biggest lead for Bedford was 12-5 and 14-7. They led by 7 points twice. Well, they're going to give the point to Lorain. They changed that, so it's 16-14. Bearcats send it back. Emily Van Horn plays it. And that hit goes wide, and now Bedford gets the point, so it's 16-15 Titans. So the Titans with 9 straight points after falling behind 14-7 take a 16-14 lead. And for Bedford, serving is Jayla Bell. Jump serve for Jayla Bell. Emily Van Horn, back row, Sydney Patterson. And Jalissa Williams sends it all the way back to the Bedford side. From the left side of the front row, sending that over for the Titans is Nina Ali. Call goes against Lorain on a double hit, and we are tied at 16. So this game one, it's been a long game. It's gone back and forth, and really it's what we expected after I heard that the first match went all 5 games. Bedford won the first 2 games, and the match over at Bedford, Lorain had to come all the way back to win 3 games to 2. Titans get the point off that missed serve into the net, 17-16 Lorain. And serving is Talia Harris, a junior. Harris line drive serve. It's going to be played by Jays Hudson. Sent over the net by Nina Ali. And going up to spike that one for the Titans is Sydney Patterson. This time sending it over is Talia Harris. From the middle of the front row, Patterson dug out, and let's see, the point will go to Lorain. It's 19-16, or 18-16. Titans lead 18-16. So a very close game one. Again, the serve going over. Bedford setting up Celeste Sanders. Now it's going to be Washington. And putting it into the net with Sydney Patterson off that low set. Bedford gets the point. They trail 18-17. And coming in to serve, it's going to be Sarah Skazinta. So Skazinta to serve for Bedford. Her team trails by 1. Line drive, and that one goes off of Jalissa Williams. We're tied at 18. Coach Shintil Jackson off the bench giving instructions. Skazinta serving, tied at 18. Line drive, Emily Van Horn. Washington with the missed set. Double hit on that. 19-18 Bedford. Skazinta really puts a little mustard on that serve, makes it tough to return. Titans, though, are able to get it over that time. Back to the Bedford side. Jays Hudson blocked at the net. Point for Lorain. From the middle of the front row, that was Sydney Patterson, who was up there with Ariana Washington. And we're tied once again at 19. Very, very close game one so far. You must win by 2 and you go to 25. Patterson serving. Hudson sends it back to the Titans. Washington back to Bedford. Third hit, battle at the net, goes back to the Lorain side. Washington with the set for Jalissa Williams. Dug out by the Bearcats, and we're going to get a miss hit on that serve, or I should say on that set by Jayla Wilson. Point for Lorain. Titans lead 20-19. Serving is Patterson. Line drive from the back row. Carter gets it over to the Titan side. Washington sends it right back to Carter and Bedford. Hudson puts it over, and we are tied at 20. Nice play by Jays Hudson, a junior from Bedford High School. We are all tied at 20. This game one. Each team has one timeout remaining. Danae Carter for Bedford sends it over. Washington battling at the net. Icy Bowles right there. Blocks it back. Sent over again by the Titans. This time it was Aaliyah Thomas. Hudson again. Dug out. They keep it alive. Got to get it over this time. They do so. Back to the Bedford side. Third hit. Amaya Robinson sends it back to Bedford. Skazinta back to the Titans. Amaya Robinson hits it deep. Played by the Bearcats. Good long rally here, and that point will go off the net, off the hit by Hudson. Point for Bedford. The Bearcats lead 21-20. So game one's going to come right down to the wire. Again, you play to 25. You must win by 2. Bearcats lead 21-20. Carter to the back row, and that one goes off the net. Got to play it over now, or Robinson does so. They're going to set. Middle of the front row, Aaliyah Thomas sent back over to the Bearcats. Bearcats set the offense, and they're going to spike it into the net. We're tied at 21. Jayla Wilson put it into the net. So this game one again is tied. We've been tied at 1, 2, 3. Then we weren't tied again until 14 apiece, 16, 18, 19, 20, and 21. And serving it into the net is Ariana Washington and the Lorain Titans, and that gives Bedford a big point. They lead 22-21. And it'll be Jayla Wilson serving. That serve is long and out of bounds. So after some good serves by both teams, we have a close game in game one coming right down to the wire, and each team with a missed serve. Service error, tied at 22. And serving is Jalissa Williams for Lorain, and that one will go off of Carter and Skazinta, and it's 23-22 Lorain. Titans by 1. Each team with a timeout remaining. You must win by 2 points. Jalissa Williams serving for the Titans. Sends it over. Skazinta goes to get it. Sends it back to the Titans side. Icy Bowles puts it straight down with from the middle of the front row, and we're tied at 23. And we're going to have a substitution for Bedford. Coming in to serve will be Deja Pulley. Deja Pulley to serve, tied at 23. Pulley gets it over. Emily Van Horn. They set. From the right side of the front row, Aaliyah Thomas sends it over. Thomas again back to the Bedford side. Bowles sends it back to the Titans. Set. Aaliyah Thomas dinks it over, dug out by the Bearcats, but it's wide out of bounds. Going to her knees, diving to get it was Deja Pulley, but she hit it out of bounds. Game point, Titans lead 24-23. Emily Van Horn to serve for game one. Carter, set. Right side, block, and we're going to have Washington get it back over. Bearcats got to get over on this hit. They do so off the top of the net. Van Horn will play it ahead. From the middle of the front row, Sydney Patterson off of a Bearcat, and game one goes to Lorain. The Titans win game one, 25-23. Bob and I will be back. Game two of girls varsity volleyball is coming up next. Game one goes to the Titans. They win it 25-23. You're watching girls varsity volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
Titans take game one, 25-23. We move now to game number two. Bedford will begin by serving. It'll be Jay LaBelle serving for the Bedford Bearcats. Rob Polinsky, Bob Schlembaker. Bob always likes me to do like a 10-minute pregame in between these games for some reason, but I don't get paid by the word, Bob, so there's an ace by Jay LaBelle, and the Bearcats lead 1-0. But what a game one we had. Seesawed back and forth. We were tied at 1, 2, 3, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 before the Titans were able to get the final 2 points to win 25-23, but it was that close in game one. And we're not surprised because, again, the first time these two teams met over at Bedford in round one in Lake Erie League play, it was the Titans beating the Bearcats in 5 games, but they had to come from behind. They lost the first 2 games and then had to win 3 in a row. And that is Ariel Sharp, who was able to get that spike in, and the Bearcats lead 2-0 early stages game 2. Jump serve, Emily Van Horn, back row, played by Jersey Fisk, sent over to the Bearcats. Set, and from the back row, sending that over is Deja Pulley. And Sydney Patterson. Donna Carter to Emily Van Horn for Lorain. Off the top of the net, point for Bedford. And it's 3-0. Bearcats lead. $11 ties in game one. Last one coming at 23. Williams, Washington, Sydney Patterson right down the line. Dug out nicely by Jay LaBelle. Back to the Titans. Jersey Fisk right side of the front row with the kill. Titans get the first point. Their first point of game two. They trail 3-1. And coming in to serve is going to be Amaya Robinson. Amaya, a senior. Her team down 3-1. Line drive serve. And a couple of the Bedford girls collide trying to play that, and that was Donna Carter and Nina Ali. Gives the point to Lorain. They trail 3-2. So Bedford trying to come back and tie this at a game apiece. Lorain with a win in this game would take a commanding 2-0 lead. Early stages, Bedford leads 3-2. And dug out nicely by Van Horn in the back row. And Sydney Patterson from the middle of the front row puts it down, and we are tied at 3. So Bedford scores the first 3 points. Lorain answers with the next 3 points to tie this tie this game at 3 apiece. Serve goes just long. Bearcats do a good job of watching it sail out of bounds, and Bedford leads 4-3. Skazinta to serve. Line drive into the net on the service error. That point goes to Lorain. They are tied at 4 here early on in game 2. From the middle of the court, we're going to have a young lady from Bedford into the net. And that is Jayla Bell. Point for Lorain. They lead 5-4. From the middle of the front row, Ariel Sharp for Bedford puts it over. And what a job by Jalissa Williams. She skies from the left side of the front row, puts it straight down, and the Titans lead 6-4. Beautifully done by sophomore Jalissa Williams. She's got up there and put that straight down. It's 6-4 Lorain. And that serve is going to go just wide out of bounds. Point will go to Bedford on the missed serve by Talia Harris. And the Bearcats with the serve trail 6-5. So it looks like, even though we're early on in game 2, it's just one of those nights where these two evenly matched teams are going to go back and forth, and it just doesn't seem to be much separation between these two teams. Even though Lorain did win game 1, it was very, very close, 25-23. Donna Carter sends it to the Titan side. Sydney Patterson at the net, and we're going to get a point for the Titans. Is off the block. Icy Bowles was there battling with Jays Hudson. They couldn't come up with it. Titans lead 7-5. Patterson serves that one long out of bounds. Point for Bedford. It's 7-6 Lorain. And serving will be Jayla Wilson for the Bedford Bearcats. They wear the green jerseys. Lorain in white. Serves that into the net. Point Titans. They lead 8-6. Serving are the Titans. And sending that over for the Bearcats was Jayla Bell. Donna Carter, great job of keeping that alive, and Bedford hits it over to the Titan side. Jersey fist right back to Carter. She digs it out. Boy, that was beautifully done for Bedford, and then sending it long on the kill was Skazinta. Point for Lorain, 9-6, but what a job by Donna Carter to keep that play alive for Bedford. Serving is Ariana Washington, the sophomore setter for the Titans. Serves it to Carter from the back row. Right back to Carter. She puts it into the net. Point for Lorain. They lead 10-6. So the Titans trying to take a little control here early on in game 2, leading 10-6. And recognizing that is head coach Kelly Jacobs. She takes one of her 2 timeouts you get each game. And with Lorain with a 10-6 lead here in game 2, you get to look at that Titan huddle. Coach Shintil Jackson, Coach Cheryl Bancic, the assistant coaches over there with her as they talk things over. They lead 1-0. They won game 1 25-23. And they're up in this one 10-6. The Titans with a record of 11-9, but more importantly, only one league loss. Bedford at 12-6 overall. After tonight, Lorain ends the regular season with a home game with Maple Heights. Should Lorain win tonight and in that home game against Maple Heights on Wednesday, the Titans would get a share of the Lake Erie League with Maple, because Lorain has one league loss. Maple does not have a league loss. So Coach Jackson telling me before the game she's hoping that her team can come out and get things done, and if they can hold court here at home, they'll share the LEL title with Maple Heights, but a lot of work to do. They've got to win tonight and then again on Wednesday, and it won't be easy, and the Titans get the point there. They lead 11-6. Again, it is Ariana Washington serving for Lorain. From the back row, Skazinta, and hitting it over is Jays Hudson. Julissa Williams has it blocked, and it just goes over for the Bearcats. Great job by them. Washington gets it and sent over by Jersey Fisk. Hudson will play it. Back to Jay LaBelle, who hits it over to the Titan side. Julissa Williams has it blocked at the net. Great rally right here. And Emily Van Horn from the back row gets it to Washington. Left side of the front row. It is going to be a point off the kill for Julissa Williams. And the crowd pumped up after that long rally. 12-6 Lorain. Serve is deep and out. That point will go to Bedford, 12-7. But the crowd's still buzzing over that long rally. Even Bob Schlembaker was impressed with that. (12-7) Lorain, game 2. Lorain won game 1, 25-23. From the back row, Emily Van Horn. Middle of the front row, sent over. Dugout. Jay LaBelle sends it back to the Titan side. Van Horn, middle of the back row. Again, Jay LaBelle plays it. Bedford gets it over with Icy Bowles. Jersey Fisk has a point and a block by Bowles, but it'll fall on the Bedford side. Point goes to the Titans and they lead 13-7. Julissa Williams play at the net, and it's going to be a point for the Titans as they get the kill. From here, I wasn't sure if that was Aaliyah Thomas or Talia Harris. They both might have been there. 14-7. Titans have doubled them up here in game 2. Bearcats send it back to the Titans side. On the third hit, the Titans will put it over. Jay LaBelle for Bedford, back to Jersey Fisk of Lorain. The set and the kill attempt is going to be dug out by the Bearcats. Emily Van Horn from the back row for Lorain. Jersey Fisk right side of the front row. Donna Carter passes ahead to her teammate Icy Bowles. And we've got a miscommunication as Emily Van Horn was there with Aaliyah Thomas. And that point will go to Bedford. They trail 14-8. Icy Bowles to serve for Bedford, her team trailing 14-8. Bowles, line drive, Emily Van Horn goes to get it, does so. Sent back, and there's a point for the Titans. As Aaliyah Thomas will be credited with that point, 15-8 Lorain. Official having a conversation with one of the ladies from Lorain, Sydney Patterson. I don't know if we're going to maybe have to resub or what that was all about, but Sydney Patterson and the official. talking things over, but Lorain will serve. It'll be Emily Van Horn, and the Titans up 15-8. Van Horn will send it, and we've got an illegal set. Double hit on that set by Jayla Bell of Bedford, and Lorain has doubled up the Bearcats 16-8 here in game 2. Titans trying to take a commanding 2-0 lead in this match. Williams ahead to Washington. Left side of the front row, blocked right back by the Bearcats. Great job on that block by Sanders and Bell. Point to Bedford, they trail 16-9. Serving Jayla Bell, jump serve, gets it over to Emily Van Horn. Washington, Jersey Fisk sets Jersey Fisk up. She puts it down, but Carter digs it out for Bedford. Back over to the Titan side, and on the third hit, Julissa Williams sends it back to the Bearcat side of the court. From the back row, sending that out on the hit was Deja Pulley. 17-9 Titans. Substitution, Fisk comes out, Amaya Robinson comes in to serve. Carter, he send it over. Sydney Patterson in the battle at the net. Patterson right there for the Titans. Goes back to Emily Van Horn for Lorain. Washington with the set for Patterson, puts it off the top of the net. Point Bedford, 17-10 Titans. Checking in for the Bearcats, a couple of young ladies that we've seen, Jays Hudson and Sarah Skazinta. And it'll be Skazinta to serve. Set, right side of the front row, off Skazinta, point for Lorain. 18-10 Titans. Titans, Hudson, Skazinta, back to the Titans. Washington set, Sydney Patterson to Skazinta, Donna Carter. Hudson sends it back over to the Titans. Again, Washington with the set. Julissa Williams this time. Carter digs it out. And from the middle of the front row, the Bearcats are able to send it over, and they're going to get the point. And it's 18-11. Serving Carter. Patterson sends it over, dugout Skazinta. Maya Robinson. Washington plays it, and that will be a point for Bedford, a double hit on that set. Makes it 18-12 Titans. Donna Carter to the back row. Washington sets. Sydney Patterson straight down. 19-12 Lorain. That was impressive. Patterson. Hudson to Jayla Bell. Skazinta, third hit. Sends it all the way back. Patterson digs it out but puts it into the Lorain bench. Point for Bedford. They trail 19-13 in game 2. Emily Van Horn back in for Lorain. She'll check in for Sydney Patterson. Bedford will counter, and coming in to serve for the Bearcats, Jayla Wilson. Wilson sends it deep. Emily Van Horn gets it over to Aaliyah Thomas, who puts it back to the Bearcat side. Washington, back row. Left side of the front row, Hudson into the net, point Lorain. They lead 20-13. Lorain 5 points away from taking a commanding 2-0 lead here. Serve into the net, point for Bedford, 20-14. Coming in to serve for the Bearcats is going to be Deja Pulley. Pulley, Williams back there. And on the set, we're going to get a double hit on the Titans. Give the point to the Bearcats. They cut the lead to 5, 20-15. And that serve goes into the net for the Bearcats. Miss serving was Deja Pulley. Give the Titans the point. They lead 21-15. Jalissa Williams back to serve for Lorain. Williams with her serve. Played back to the Titans side. They're going to set up, and with the kill that time for the Titans, Talia Harris. Point Lorain. They lead 22-15. They're 3 points away from a 2-0 lead. Lorain looking for their season sweep over Bedford. They won round 1 at Bedford. It took them 5 games. They're going to try to do that in a little quicker fashion here tonight. Williams just gets it over the net, played right back to the Titans. Set for Washington. Right side of the front row, Jersey Fisk through the block attempt. It's good. 23-15, 2 points away from the game. Timeout, Bedford. Bedford takes their second timeout. They took their first one trailing 10-6. Now they lead 23-15. Or I should say Lorain leads 23-15 as they take their second timeout. Let's just remind you that if you like Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook, you can win some great prizes. Other social media ways to follow us are on Twitter at LCS_TV 20. You can check out that YouTube station anywhere you are. It's Lorain Schools TV 20. Lorain City Schools Television, it's WLCS TV 20. If you're on Spectrum Cable in Lorain, it's channel 1025. Check out Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook for all your entertainment and informational needs. Alongside Bob Schlumbaker, I'm Rob Polinsky. Late stages, Game 2. Lorain with a 23-15 lead after they won Game 1, 25-23. Bedford scored the first 3 points of Game 2. We were then tied at 3, tied at 4. And tied at 4 was our last tie as Lorain took a 6-4 lead. Then it was 6-5, 7-6. It's as close as they would get because the Titans would get 5 straight points to go up 12-6. And they've basically been in command of Game 2 ever since. Left side of the front row with the kill, and it's good. Nina Ali. And it's 23-16 Lorain. It'll be Icy Bowles back to serve for Bedford, her team trailing 23-16. Bowles will send it over. And now back to the Bearcats. Middle of the front row, Celeste Sanders. To the Titans, Jersey Fisk will play it deep, but that point will go to Bedford. 23-17. Icy Bowles is the junior who is serving. Bowles serving, trailing 23-17. Sends it to Jalissa Williams for Lorain. Washington with the set. Middle of the front row. It is sent by Fisk, but dug out by the Bearcats. And on the third hit, they put it into the net. We're at game point. 24-17 Lorain. Emily Van Horn to serve to try to give Lorain a 2-0 lead. 24-17, line drive serve. Played in the back row. Donna Carter ahead to Celeste Sanders, right back to the Titans side. And for the Titans, Sydney Patterson puts it deep, and that one's going to be in. And game 2 goes to Lorain. So the Titans win game 2, 25-17 to take a 2-0 lead. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with game 3. You're watching Girls Varsity Volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
Hi, my name is Justin Sturgill. I'm 16 years old and in 10th grade at Lorain High School. I'm studying sports health and fitness through Lorain High's Career Tech Education program, and I'm also in Titan College. I'm very into sports and interactive things. I want to be an athletic trainer one day, and teachers like Mr. Dury help me figure that out. When Dury teaches, we have a lot of fun and it's exciting. I've learned a lot about the body and its functions, how injuries occur, the right thing to do, and how to prevent injuries. I felt good in my classes because I was actually learning. I also want to be around sports. I love sports. I play football and basketball, and I also run track. As for my Titan College College Credit Plus classes, it's different. It's cool to feel like a college student. It's even better to be a college student and learning at the higher level. It's very challenging, and I like a challenge. You definitely have to be very focused in class and outside of school. I know for a fact that I'm going to college. I also know that not many people get into the NFL or NBA. But knowing that, as an athletic trainer, I can still physically be around sports, even if I don't play them, makes all the difference. Career Tech Education in Titan College helped give me this confidence. I know what I want to do, and it's all thanks to Lorain High's Career Tech Education program in Titan College.
Hey Luda, got a sec?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm really worried. One of my friends is living on the street.
I know someone who can help.
Who?
1-800-RUNAWAY.org. They help kids having a rough time at home, in school, or on the street. You can do a live chat on their site. They will help get her to safety.
Thanks, Ludacris.
Trust the National Runaway Switchboard. If you're having a hard time, get online or call to chat now.
Titans will serve, leading 2-0 as we begin game 3. Girls Varsity Volleyball tonight on WLCS TV 20. Serving is Amaya Robinson. And she'll serve it into the net on that service error. Bedford leads 1-0. Titans won game 1, 25-23. A little easier time in game 2, winning 25-17. Bedford leading 1-0 in game 3. We'll have a substitution as coming in for the Bedford Lady Bearcats. It will be Ariel Sharp. And it will be Bedford to serve. Serving will be Jayla Bell. Bell serve. Robinson, Julissa Williams, Emily Van Horn from the back row. Sends it back to the Bearcat side of the court. Washington with the set, and Sydney Patterson will crank it up, and that one will be out. Point for Bedford, it's 2-0. So the Bearcats lead 2-0 here in game 3. Lorain wins game 3. They win the match 3-0. Bedford needs game 3 to stay alive. Washington sends it over to Thomas. Sydney Patterson, middle of the front row. Sharp. Back to Jayla Bell. Set. Sydney Patterson. Dug out nicely that time by Nina Ali of Bedford. Donna Carter, who has played a solid game, sends it over. Miscommunication over there on the Lorain side of the court. Bedford leads 3-0. Bedford led game 1 3-0 before the Titans came back. I'm sorry, that was game 2. Last game they led 3-0 before Lorain scored the next 3 points and then got right back into it and won 25-17. Right side of the front row. Washington with the set, and the Donnie Carter. Great job of keeping that alive. Bearcats still keep it alive. Got to get it over on this hit. They're unable to do so. Point for the Titans, but a tremendous effort by several of those Bedford Bearcats. 3-1. Titans trail by 2, and going back to serve, it will be Talia Harris. Talia Harris serving. Line drive just over the net. And the Bearcats send it back to the Titans on 3 hits. They'll set up. Patterson puts it into the net. Point for the Bearcats. Bedford leads 4-1. Lorain with a 2-0 lead. Substitutions for Bedford, Jays Hudson and Sarah Skuzinta. Skuzinta will go back to serve. Skuzinta to serve, her team up 4-1. Good line drive serve, and that's a point for Lorain as Talia Harris hit it out of play. 5-1 Bearcats. Lorain won the first match over at Bedford in 5 games after falling behind 2-0. Bedford trying to do that right here tonight, but they've got a long way to go. They trail 2-0, but they're trying to do to Lorain what the Titans did to them in round 1. Sydney Patterson puts the spike down off of a Bedford block, and it's 5-2. Titans trail by 3. Patterson to serve. Patterson. Line drive to Hudson. From the back row, Donna Carter sends it deep. Washington set, middle of the front row. Harris had it blocked right back at her by Celeste Sanders. Sydney Patterson back over to the Bedford side. Again, the Titans play it. Skuzinta sends it deep and too deep. It's out of bounds. Point for Lorain. They trail 5-3. Patterson to serve for Lorain. And a point will go to Lorain off the violation on Bedford on that set. 5-4. Titans trail by 1 with a chance to tie. Sydney Patterson to serve. After trailing 5-1, the Titans trying to tie right here. And it goes off the net. Point for the Bearcats off the kill by Jays Hudson. Bedford lengthens the lead to 2 at 6-4, and it'll be Donna Carter going back to serve. Carter serves. Set. And the kill by the Titans. That time it was Talia Harris. And Hudson again for Bedford. From the back row, Emily Van Horn hits it deep. Donna Carter digs it out. And it's played ahead by Ariel Sharp for Bedford. Julissa Williams cranks it up, and that'll be a point for the Titans. Off of the Bedford block, Julissa Williams, the sophomore, where she is on that left side of that front row, she can put it straight down, no doubt about that. 6-5. And going back to serve will be Ariana Washington, the sophomore. Her team trails 6-5. And Icy Bowles sends it over on the third hit to the Titans. It'll be Talia Harris playing it back to the Bedford side. And Bowles, was she into the net? She was, so we are tied at 6. Third hit, Skuzinta off the top of the net. That'll be a point for Bedford. They regain the lead 7-6. Coach Chantel Jackson, second-year head coach of the Titans. Kelly Jacobs in her first year as head coach of these Bedford Bearcats. Bearcats serving. Washington setting, middle of the front row, sending it over. Aaliyah Thomas This time Jersey Fisk will send it cross court, and it's a point for Lorain. Trying to dig that out of there was Tiana Black, who just came in for the first time. She played in the JV game earlier. We're tied at 7. So the Titans have come all the way back after trailing 5-1 to tie it at 7 apiece. And Williams serves it into the net, gives Bedford the point, and they regain the lead 8-7. For Bedford, coming in to serve will be Deja Poli. Also coming in, Nina Ali to play the front row. Poli, a senior, to serve. Gets it over the net. And Thomas had it blocked out of bounds. It'll be a point for the Titans. So Alita Thomas for Lorain ties it at 8. And Emily Van Horn, the libero. And she is the senior libero. Will go back to serve. And Donna Carter plays it ahead. They get it over the net. Washington with the set, left side of the front row, just putting it over. Beautiful placement by Talia Harris. 9-8 Titans, their first lead of game 3. Van Horn, see if she can lengthen this lead. Deep serve. In the middle of the front row, it's sent over. And Talia Harris will play it for Lorain. And from the back row, Bearcats send it over. Van Horn will pass it ahead to Washington. Middle of the front row, Sydney Patterson plays it ahead. And on the third hit, Nina Ali puts it into the net. Point for the Titans. They lead 10-8. And up 2-0. You begin to wonder if maybe right here is where Lorain can take control and try to put these Bearcats away. They won the first game 25-23. They won the second game 25-17. Van Horn, service there into the net. Bearcats get the point. They trail 10-9, and they'll get the serve back, and it's Icy Bowles to serve. Bowles line drive, Emily Van Horn. Washington, Sydney Patterson sends it over. Bowles digs it out, and into the net, hitting that was Deja Poli. Point Titans, they lead 11-9. Amaya Robinson back to serve. Robinson serves it into the net, and all of a sudden the Titans really struggling just serving it over the net. Titans only lead by 1, 11-10. Giving Bedford some points here in this third game with their service errors. And serving for the Bearcats, it'll be Jayla Bell. That serve is way long and out of bounds. Point for the Titans. They lead 12-10. Carter just gets it over the net right there. Nice job by Ariana Washington, who was with Sydney Patterson. They put it down, and the Titans with their biggest lead of game 3 at 3 points, 13-10. Talia Harris, nice serve. And from the middle of the front row, Celeste Sanders for Bedford put it back to the Titan side. Julissa Williams cranks up, but put that well long and out of bounds. 13-11. Titan lead is cut to 2. Substitutions for Lorain, or I should say for Bedford. Skazinta will come in to serve, and coming into the front row is going to be Jays Hudson. Van Horn, Washington gets it over. Sanders into the net, getting it over. Julissa Williams with a point for the Titans, and they lead at 14-11. Patterson to serve. Sydney, the senior. Celeste Sanders punches it over the net. Washington will dink it over. Dug out by the Bearcats. Again, Washington with the set. Jalissa Williams will dink it over. Dug out nicely by Hudson. And Skazinta will hit it over on the third hit. Left side, Williams puts it into the net. Point, Bedford, 14-12 Lorain. Emily Van Horn will check back into the back row. And Sydney Patterson will come out. Harris sends it over, and it's out of bounds off the hit by Skazinta. She tried to dig it out. Lorain with a point. They lead 15-12. Each team with both timeouts remaining for this game. Again, you play to 25. You must win by 2. Robinson comes out. Fisk comes back in for Lorain. Titans lead 2-0, trying to get a 3-game sweep. They're up 15-12 here in Game 3. And serving is Washington for the Titans. Set, Icy Bulls left side of the front row. Beautiful kill on that spike, 15-13. Bedford down by 2. Substitution coming back in to serve, Tiana Black for Bedford. We saw her in the junior varsity match earlier. Black way back, looks like she's going to do a jump serve. She sends it deep. Washington to Fisk, left side of the front row, dug out by Skazinta. And Jays Hudson plays it, and that'll be a point for Bedford. Hudson with the spike, 15-14 Lorain. Talk with Coach Jackson before the match. Next week, Titans will start the Midview Sectional District. The first round game against Amherst Marion L. Steel. Titans the 11th seed in that outstanding Division I Sectional District coming up. Point will go to the Titans there. They lead 16-14. So best of luck, Lady Titans, in tournament play. Williams sends it over, dug out by Skazinta from the back row. Tiana Black sends it back to the Titans. Block at the net by the Bearcats, and that'll fall on the Titans side, 16-15. The Bearcats are within 1. Bedford trying to stay alive here in Game 3. Nina Ali will come back in for Bedford, along with Deja Pulley, who will go back to serve. Pulley a senior, Ali a senior. Van Horn will dig it and pass it ahead. Fisk at the net. Blocked right back to the Titans. Battle at the net. And it's Icy Bowles puts it down, and we are tied at 16. Icy Bowles from the middle of that front row has had an outstanding night for Bedford. And serving, it's going to be Deja Pulley. Pulley off the top of the net. Titans can't play it. Point for Bedford. Bearcats lead 17-16. So Bedford comes back to take the lead. Pulley serves. Van Horn. Washington. Kill attempt is going to be blocked, and it went into the net off of Aaliyah Thomas. And Bedford leads by 2 at 18-16. Emily Van Horn trying to cheer her teammates on the court. Pulley to serve, her team up by 2. Van Horn to Washington. Right side of the front row, Aaliyah Thomas. And Nina Ali cranks up. It's blocked. Set by Washington. Sent over, and the point for Lorain, and that is Talia Harris. Talia Harris with the point. Titans trail 18-17. Emily Van Horn to serve. This to tie it. Played by Pulley. There's the set. Nina Ali cranks up. It's blocked. Washington keeps it in play. Van Horn will pass it ahead, and the Titans get it over by Sydney Patterson. At the net, and we're going to have into the net are the Titans, and that point will go to Bedford. They lead at 19-17. Bearcats. Bowles set. Washington. Jersey Fisk sends it over to the Bedford side. Sending it back over is Jayla Bell for Bedford. Back to the Lorain side of the court. Blocked at the net. Nicely done by Jayla Bell and Celeste Sanders. Bedford leads 20-17. Timeout, Lorain. The Titans take their first timeout. Here in the late stages of Game 3, they find themselves trailing 20-17. Lorain, if they can come back and win, would win the match 3-0. If Bedford hangs on and wins, they'll send us to a fourth game, trailing 2-1. Lorain City Schools WLCS TV 20 on Spectrum Cable. That's 1025 on Spectrum Cable. You can check out Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook for all your informational and entertainment needs. Follow us on Twitter at LCS_TV20. And you can check out the YouTube station anytime, and that is Lorain Schools TV 20. Bob Schlumbaker doing the camera work. My name's Rob Polinsky. 20-17, Game 3. Bedford with the serve, leading by 3. And now we're going to have a discussion with the officials before we get back underway. Not sure what this would be about. Bowles to serve. Bedford up 20-17. And two of our officials, for whatever reason, getting together to talk here before the restart of Game 3, which Bedford leads 20-17 following the timeout that was called by Lorain. And evidently we are ready to restart. Maybe they just wanted to make a long night longer. Icy Bowles to serve. Gets it over the net. Emily Van Horn will play it into the net. Point Bedford. They lead 21-17. So the Bedford Bearcats are 4 points away from sending us to a fourth game. Bowles off the top of the net. Point Bedford 22-17. Just off the top of the net, and the Titans couldn't play it. Bedford, 3 points away from a Game 3 win. Williams, the set. Patterson sends it over. Dug out by the Bearcats. Bowles, middle of the front row, put it into the net. Point Titans. Titans need some points right now. They trail 22-18. They have the serve. And let's see what they can do with their serve as Amaya Robinson's going to come back in here. So senior Amaya Robinson to serve for Lorain. Her team trails 22-18. Robinson into the net, missed serve. Bedford leads 23-18. And Lorain has had way too many service errors in Game 3. They were up 15-12, had a chance to put the Bearcats away, but had a lot of missed serves the rest of the way, and since they were up 15-12, they've been outscored 11-3. Credit Bedford for coming back. Emily Van Horn will dig it out. Amaya Robinson from the back row sends it over. Donna Carter for Bedford. They'll play it ahead. Celeste Sanders with the kill, blocked by the Titans. Sydney Patterson, middle of the front row. Sent back over by the Bearcats, but out of bounds. Point Lorain. Titans trail 23-19. And going back to serve, it will be Talia Harris, a junior. Harris serves. Carter puts it, and Julissa Williams put it straight down. Point for the Titans. They trail 23-20. Harris, deep serve. Carter to Sanders. Back to Carter. She'll hit it over on the third hit. Titans set it. Right side of the front row, Sydney Patterson. Dug out. Carter will send it back over to the Titan side. Amaya Robinson right back to the Bearcats. And we're going to get a miss hit on the serve. Game point. 24-20 Bedford. And we are at game point as the Bearcats up by 4. And coming in to try to serve for game 3 is Sarah Scuzinta. Scuzinta to try to serve for game 3 and send us to a 4th game. Titans up 2-0. Game point. Line drive serve. Robinson to Washington. Back to Van Horn. She'll send it back over. Titans trying to stay in this game. Dug out by Robinson. Played ahead. Third hit. Sydney Patterson put it right back to the Bearcats. Washington will get it to Patterson. Again, now Bedford sets up the offense. Jays Hudson blocked by Williams. Sent ahead, and that will go into the net. Game 3 goes to Bedford, and the Bearcats earn a hard-fought 25-20 win. Lorain leads 2-1. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with the 4th game after this timeout. You're watching Girls Varsity Volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
The Warriors to Work program makes it possible for wounded warriors and their families to build new lives together.
When my dad left, I was like this big, but now I'm like this big. My dad got a master's degree in human resources.
Thanks to Warriors to Work that my dad has a terrific job.
The Wounded Warrior Project helps him by, giving him another start.
Now that my dad's home, I get a lot more hugs.
I'm really proud of him.
Find out more about Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home, the brave.
Has your child been diagnosed with autism? If so, this message is for you. Vision disorders can contribute to your child's challenges. Poor eye contact, head movement when reading, even toe walking can be signs of vision problems. Vision screenings can be misleading because they are not designed to test all of the visual skills necessary to accomplish activities of daily living. You need to see an optometrist who provides developmental vision evaluations to get the help you need. Sometimes special glasses may help, and other times a program of optometric vision therapy could make all the difference. While we do not offer a cure for autism, when the underlying vision problem is treated, these children become more cooperative, have better eye contact, are better able to interact and adapt to their surroundings, and it improves their ability to learn. For more information, visit the Parent Resource Center at covd.org, the website for the College of Optometrist and Vision Development, covd.org. Or call 888-COVD-770.
Game 4, Bedford wins game 3, 25-20. They trail 2-1. So now we go to a 4th game. These two teams battling here at Lorain. Girls Varsity Volleyball. Bob Schlembaker, the camera work. My name is Rob Polinsky. Jump serve to begin game 4 by Jay LaBelle. And game 4 is underway, and Sydney Patterson gets it ahead. Nina Ali digs it out for the Bearcats. Dug out by Washington, set by Jersey Fisk, and Jersey, not a setter for Lorain, gets called for the miss hit on that serve. Bedford leads 1-0. So Bedford stayed in this game in this match by winning game 3, 25-20, a game they had to have after trailing 2-0. Sydney Patterson gets to Emily Van Horn. Van Horn sends it over to the Bearcats side. Jays Hudson had her spike attempt blocked at the net. Talia Harris plays it for the Lorain Titans. Going back is Emily Van Horn. Jersey Fisk, right side of the front row. Blocked. Nina Ali saves it. And unable to get it over are the Bearcats, so we are tied at 1. Game 4, girls varsity volleyball. WLCS TV 20. Amaya Robinson will serve for Lorain. See if Lorain can improve on their serve percentage here in Game 4. They struggled in Game 3 with some missed serves, and that one is a line drive. It is over, and it is going to be hit out of bounds by Danae Carter, and Lorain leads 2-1. So Amaya Robinson and the Titans keep it going. Nina Ali, cross court, and it's played. That'll be a point for Bedford as that violation goes against the Titans. We're tied at 2. Going back to serve is Sarah Skazinta. Skazinta sends it back. Right side of the front row to Leah Harris. Sent back. Emily Van Horn for Lorain will play it. They set up Patterson, and Patterson hits it long out of bounds. Point for Bedford. Bearcats lead 3-2. If Bedford's able to win this, we would go to a 5th and deciding game, which would go to 15. If the Titans are able to win, then they win the match 3-1. Skazinta with her serve goes long, and we're tied at 3. Harris serving for Lorain. Talia Harris. She is a junior. Set for Jays Hudson. Washington plays it, and Sydney Patterson and Washington cannot get it over the net. Point for Bedford. The Bearcats lead early on in Game 4 by a score of 4-3. Icy Bowles, junior for Bedford, serving her team up 4-3. Line drive. Emily Van Horn from the back row to Sydney Patterson off the block. We're tied at 4. Trying to block that was Celeste Sanders and Jays Hudson, unable to do so. So Lorain has tied this Game 4 at 4. As the Titans try to win in 4 games. There's going to be a point. Skazinta could not pass it ahead to her teammate Sanders. Titans lead 5-4. Line drive serve. Hudson does a good job of getting to it. Sanders will put it over. Washington to Jalissa Williams. She'll two-hand it over to the Bearcat side of the court. Battle at the net. Back to Bedford. And it was Skazinta who kept that alive, put it to the Lorain side. Amaya Robinson sends it back. And now putting it back over the net was Jayla Bell for Bedford. Bell goes up to keep that in play. Carter back to Jayla Bell. She'll hit it, but she hits it out of bounds in front of the Lorain bench. Titans lead 6-4. Titans led in Game 3, 15-12, but then Bedford would come back and win 25-20. So Jays Hudson puts it to the Lorain side of the court. Amaya Robinson back to the middle of the court for Bedford. And that one is sent over. Dugout Ariel Sharp had the kill attempt for Bedford. And the Titans get another point. They lead 7-4. So Lorain trying to take some early control advantage here in Game 4, leading by 3. Substitution for Bedford. Coming back in is Jayla Wilson, a junior. She'll replace Celeste Sanders. And Hudson Hits it into the net. Can't pass it ahead. 8-4 Lorain. Patterson. Skazinta goes, dives, keeps it alive. What a job by her. Bedford will get it ahead, and sending that one over is going to be Jayla Wilson. They did a great job of keeping this point alive. Donnie Carter can't pass it ahead, and it's 9-4 Titans with the lead. The Lorain Titans have scored 6 straight points since our last tie at 4. They lead 9-4. Serve into the net, point for Bedford, 9-5. So the service error hurting Lorain there. Saw a lot of that in the third game. That helped enable Bedford to win game 3, in my opinion. Tiana Black serving for Bedford. Her team trails 9-5. Sends it over. Van Horn plays it. Might have been out of bounds, and Bedford gets the point, 9-6. It was very close, so Van Horn had to play it. Black won't get that over the net. Service error, point Lorain. Titans lead 10-6. Serve goes deep, and the Titans will get the point off that serve of Ariana Washington. Titans lead 11-6. Timeout for the Bearcats. Bearcats take their first timeout here of game 4, leading 11-6. Titans up 2-1, trying to win this in 4 games. As the Bearcats had a quick huddle with their head coach, Kelly Jacobs, and they're back out onto the floor. Lorain still huddling around Chantel Jackson. Again, Lorain needs to win this and then beat Maple on Wednesday to get a share of the LEL. As the regular season will come to an end on Wednesday, Lorain right now 11-9 overall, but more importantly, just 1 league loss. Bedford 12-6 overall, but they've lost 3 league games. They've lost twice to Maple Heights and once to Lorain. Washington sends it to the Bedford side of the floor. Skazinta puts it back. Jersey Fisk right side of the front row. Dug out by the Bearcats and sent over by Jayla Bell. Bell. And that one will go deep and out of bounds off the hit by Tiana Black, and Lorain leads 12-6. Washington, line drive serve. Played by Jayla Bell. Skazinta, but Talia Harris keeps that alive. And into the net, Julissa Williams, point for Bedford. And the lead is 12-7. And serving is Deja Pulley. Sanders back into the match, sends that over. Titans, Julissa Williams cranks up. It's blocked out of bounds. Point for Lorain. They lead 13-7 here in Game 4. Titans lead 2-1. They won Game 1 and 2. Lost the third game, trying to bounce back here in Game 4. Set. Sanders sends it over. Dug out by the Titans. Harris, cross-court hit, and that's going to be saved by Bedford, unbelievably. 13-7, Van Horn sends it back to the Bedford side. What a job by the Bearcats keeping this rally alive, and Sanders gets the point. 13-8, the Bearcats with a hard-fought point there. They never gave up on that one. And they trail by 5, 13-8. Now going back to serve for them is Donnae Carter. We have a whistle, and there was an illegal rotation, I think, before the serve by the Bearcats, so that will give the point to Lorain. They lead 14-8. I don't pretend to know every volleyball rule there is. Sometimes I have to wait for Bob Schlumbaker to tell me what these calls are. But the bottom line is the Titans get that point. And at the net, the Titans get another point because Sydney Patterson puts that down. It's 15-8 Lorain. Van Horn in the back row. Black to Van Horn. Set by Washington. Sydney Patterson sent back over by the Bedford Bearcats, and we're going to get an illegal hit here, a double hit on the Titans. Point to Bedford. They will get the serve trailing 15-9. Substitution for Bedford coming in. Ariel Sharp, a senior. Washington, the set, the kill by Sydney Patterson, and it's 15-10. And it'll get sent over. Van Horn will play it off the rafters, and it's a point for Bedford. 15-11, the Bearcats with 3 straight points have cut into that lead. It was 15-8. Now they've cut it to 15-11. And serving is Jayla Bell. Bell serves. Van Horn from the back row. Washington to Sydney Patterson. Dug out by Donnae Carter of Bedford. Sending it with the hit, but not over, is Deja Pulley. Point for Lorain. They lead 16-11. Amaya Robinson to serve. Robinson sends it over. Middle of the front row, Patterson has it blocked. And digging that out is Harris to Patterson. Got to get it over this hit. Amaya Robinson does so. Donnae Carter will play it to Jayla Bell. And Nina Ali will go up to get it. Van Horn. And we're going to get an illegal hit on the Titans. 17th, or the point will go to Bedford. They trail 16-12. Substitutions for the Bearcats. Coming back in is Jays Hudson and Sarah Skuzinta. Skuzinta. Line drive serve. Van Horn plays it, and nobody communicates for Lorain, and the ball falls on their side of the court. Point for Bedford. They trail 16-13. Skuzinta with a nice line drive serve that's difficult to receive and pass. Again, Van Horn goes to get it. Passes ahead. Patterson battling, and we have what? A point for the Titans. They lead 17-13. Going back to serve. Talia Harris. Skuzinta. And that one is going to be hit out of bounds by Ariel Sharp. Titans lead 18-13. So the Titans trying to put away this Bedford team in 4 games. Sharp to Skuzinta. Donnae Carter will send it over. Van Horn from the back row. Set for Washington. And Patterson just gets it to the Bedford side. They'll dink it back over. Van Horn goes to save it. Julissa Williams, and the point will go to Lorain. 19-13 Titans. Titans starting to get a little separation here in the 4th game. Is Chantel Jackson, the second-year head coach for Lorain, talking with her team. Line drive serve. Bearcats. Jays Hudson plays it. Van Horn set. Patterson back to Carter. Again to set Patterson, middle of the front row, dug out nicely by Jayla Bell. And now Bell will send it back over to the Titans. Washington battling at the net, and the Titans keep it alive. Amaya Robinson back to the Bedford side. Van Horn passes ahead. Washington 2 hands it over to the Bedford side. Long ride, Skuzinta to Van Horn. Washington, Amaya Robinson, middle of the floor. Donnae Carter will dig it out. Middle of the floor, Icy Bowles puts it down. Point for Bedford, 19-14. That was an excellent point by both teams. A long rally, and Bedford wins it. They trail 19-14, and now we're going to see coming into the game Celeste Sanders back in for Bedford. Icy Bowles serving, her team down 5. Amaya Robinson on the return. Emily Van Horn will send it over, top of the net. Sanders to Jays Hudson. Van Horn goes to get that. And unable to get it over on the 3rd hit is Talia Harris. Point for Bedford, and they trail 19-15. The Bedford Bearcats trying to come back. And that serve goes into the net. Point for Lorain. They lead 20-15. See if the Titans can get a little closer to a victory here, as they are 5 points away from this match, and it'll be Sydney Patterson serving her team up 20-15. Patterson sends it deep and just out. Good eye by Skuzinta. She let it go out of bounds. The lead is 4, 20-16. And serving now for Bedford will be Tiana Black. Lorain leads 2-1. This is the 4th game. Titan fans are hoping it's the last game. Black to serve. Her team down 20-16. Sends it over. Dug out. Washington will dink it over. Carter just got to it before it went down. Julissa Williams sends it back to the Bedford side. Again, the Titans. Skuzinta diving for it. Emily Van Horn to Julissa Williams. Nicely done by Black, keeping that alive. Back to the Lorain side. Washington off Skuzinta. Point for Lorain. They lead 21-16. Another good point by both these teams. And one of the referees, I think, wants to come over and make sure that Skuzinta is okay. She took a couple of hard falls there trying to dive for those balls, and now the officials talking things over. 21-16 Lorain, and the Titans will serve, and it'll be Ariana Washington serving. Her team 4 points away from the match, but first the substitution. Jersey Fisk is coming back in. Deep serve is going to go just out of bounds, 21-17. So the Titans, with a couple of missed serves here late in this, keeps it going. And serving for Bedford, It'll be Deja Pulley. Pulley to Van Horn. Set for Jersey Fisk, has it blocked right back at her. Titans send it back over, up 21-17. Bearcats playing it, Celeste Sanders back to the Titans side. Washington for Julissa Williams, she cranks it up, hits it long, out of bounds. Bedford with the point, they trail 21-18. Deja Pulley into the net, point for the Titans, 22-18. Going back to serve, sophomore Julissa Williams. Third hit, into the net, 23-17. Nina Ali puts it into the net, and the Titans are 2 points away from this match. Timeout, Bedford. Bearcats take the timeout. They have none remaining. They've taken both timeouts in this game. First timeout was when they trailed 11-6. Now this timeout at 23-18. Lorain still has 2 timeouts remaining should they need them. We were tied at 1, at 2, at 3, and at 4. Then Lorain got out to a 9-4 lead. They led 12-6, 15-8. And then Bedford started to make their comeback. They cut it to 16-13. 3 straight points for Lorain made it 19-13. But Bedford wouldn't go away. A couple of points made it 19-15. And then back and forth, back and forth. Lorain led 20-15. But since that point, we've been tied at 3. So Lorain leads 23-18. The Titans have scored 2 straight points. Following the timeout, Julissa Williams is 2 points away from winning this match for Lorain and keeping their hopes alive for a share of the LEL title, but they've got to finish this match and then defeat Maple Heights to end league play. Williams will put it into the net following the timeout. Point for Bedford. They cut the lead to 23-19. And serving for the Bearcats is Donna Carter. Carter sends it over. Titans, Talia Harris, match point. Nina Ali hit it out of bounds. Match point for Lorain. Emily Van Horn to serve. Van Horn serves. It's deep off Black. They're not going to get it. The Titans win in 4 games. Lorain with a hard-fought win over Bedford in 4 games. They win 25-23, 25-17. They lost the 3rd game, 20-25, but they win the 4th, 25-19. They win 3 games to 1. The Titans stay 1 game behind Maple Heights, and they'll play Maple Heights for the championship here at home on Wednesday night, and we'll have it for you on WLCS TV 20. So thanks to Bob Schlumbaker for all his hard work, and thank you for watching. Again, Lorain wins in 4 games. You've been watching Girls Varsity Volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.